right turn to the east, runway 27, cleared for takeoff, surface wind 220 degrees, 5 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 27, right turn, Golf Romeo Bravo.
Golf Romeo Bravo, runway 27 is wet, wet, wet.
Romeo Bravo.
So here we are, taking off from Gloucester for Cambridge for a day trip to meet up with the family. As you can see, the cloud base was quite low, in some areas down to 1,000 feet or less, and visibility horizontally was also more limited, down to 5,000 or less. But after departure, we didn't actually need to climb through any cloud to get up to our cruising altitude of 5,000 feet IFR as we're flying to the east. Now that we're clear of Gloucester and about 5 miles to the east of the airfield, it's time to ask for a traffic service from Brize Radar.
Brize Radar, good morning, Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo for traffic service.
Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo, Brize Radar, pass message.
Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo, TB20 Gloucester to Cambridge via Devontree. 7 miles east of Gloucester, 4,500 feet, request traffic service.
Golf Romeo Bravo, squawk 3710.
3710, Golf Romeo Bravo.
Golf Romeo Bravo, identify traffic service, Brize QNH 1015, confirm your altitude.
5,000 feet, 1015, traffic service, Golf Romeo Bravo.
It's pretty calm up here at this altitude. We've got a tailwind of around 20 knots. So the ground speed that you can see on the bottom left there is getting up towards 160 knots, so about 185 miles per hour in a straight line directly towards our destination. And whatever altitude you choose to fly at, there's always going to be some cloud exactly at that altitude. And it's quite hard to avoid going through some, but it's not really a problem. It's just water vapor. I try to listen to the ATIS for my destination airport as early as possible, even if the audio quality is quite poor.
Cambridge arrival and departure information India time 0950, runway NU's 23, surface wind 240 degrees 13 knots, visibility 4,500 meters, haze, no significant.
I'm now outside the range for Brize and passing close to Cranfield, which has an instrument approach, so I've talked to them just for a basic service.
Cranfield approach, Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo for basic service.
Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo, Cranfield approach, passing message.
Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo, TB20 Gloucester to Cambridge, 5 miles northwest, 5,000 feet, request basic service.
Golf Romeo Bravo, basic service, Cranfield QNH 1014.
Basic 1014, Golf Romeo Bravo.
Cranfield approach don't have a radar, so they can't tell exactly where I am, and it's very much up to me to decide where and when I choose to switch across to the next radio station.
Golf Romeo Bravo, 20 miles to run to Cambridge, request change to Cambridge 123.605.
Golf Romeo Bravo, free call Cambridge, cheerio.
Thanks, Golf Romeo Bravo.
I negotiated with Cambridge Approach that I'd fly the RNAV approach into runway 23 via the northwest waypoint of Tipco.
Golf Romeo Bravo, Tipco.
Golf Romeo Bravo, Roger, descend with the procedure, report time approach track established.
Descend with procedure, and we'll go Golf Romeo Bravo.
Cambridge approach, hello, this is Helimed 88 Echo, inbound request basic service. Helimed 88 Echo, Cambridge approach, basic service, QNH 1015. Basic service at 1015, Helimed 88 Echo, 8454 PAB, we're currently 6 miles to the south, inbound.
I'm hand flying this approach rather than using the autopilot, and on turning onto final approach track, that's when I realised I wasn't going to get the glide slope presented to me, as is often the case in other LNAV approaches.
Golf Romeo Bravo, final approach track established. Golf Romeo Bravo, contact Cambridge Tower 125.9005. 125.905, Golf Romeo Bravo. Cambridge Tower, Golf Bravo, Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo.
Golf Charlie Oscar Romeo Bravo, Cambridge Tower. Continue approach runway 23, section 230 degrees 13.
Continue approach, Golf Romeo Bravo. Echo is downwind, runway 23 and turning left base.
LNAV 8A Echo, the TB20 is now on a 5.5 mile final view visual.
Negative, LNAV 8 Echo.
LNAV 8A Echo, extend downwind to position behind the TB20.
Extending downwind and positioning behind the aircraft for final, LNAV 8 Echo.
Golf Romeo Bravo, traffic is EC45, extending downwind to position behind you.
Roger, Golf Romeo Bravo.
I'm now past the final approach fix, so I've put the first stage of flaps and the gear down and gone into a 500 foot per minute glide descent. The minima for this approach is 400 feet, so we've still got a fair way to go. And as you can see, we can see the ground directly below us, but I cannot see ahead very well, and I certainly can't make out the runway at this point.
LNAV 8 Echo, you visual believed to be in about your 10 o'clock at this moment.
Negative visual, LNAV 8 Echo.
LNAV 8 Echo, say again.
We not visual, Mum, but we have him on TCAS.
LNAV 8 Echo, Roger.
TCAS is a traffic collision avoidance system.
Golf Romeo Bravo, runway 23, clear to land, session 230 degrees 14.
Clear land, runway 23, Golf Romeo Bravo.
Golf Charlie Bravo, contact Cambridge approach 123.605.
Golf Charlie Bravo to approach.
Well, I am clear to land, but I can't actually see the runway at this point. And as you can see, the horizontal visibility is pretty limited at this altitude. I'm tracking slightly left of the centre line and correcting. Visibility on the ground is reported at 3 miles, but I'm still not seeing the runway, and I'm now down to almost 2 miles ahead.
Very hard to see, but I've got it now.
Very hard, yeah. Oh, I see, yeah.
Turning final, runway 23.
LNAV 8 Echo, to continue approach runway 23, number 2, number 1 is the TB20, 2 mile final.
Continue approach runway 23, we're at 5 miles, LNAV 8 Echo.
Flying a pretty stable descent profile at a consistent 500 feet per minute or so, and confirmed that against the approach plate, which has check heights every mile.
500.
That's the Garmin Era on board, just warning me I'm 500 feet above the terrain. We are now tracking in bang on the centre line, and you'll start to see the runway become more visual on the camera picture there. I'm applying the second stage of flaps, slowing down to about 80 knots with ground speed down to 60 because of the headwind, and that'll make for a nice gentle touchdown at slow ground speed. The minima for this approach is 400 feet, which is just about now, so as you can see you're pretty close to the runway and pretty low down on this approach before you'd have to go around if you hadn't seen the approach lights. So we'll just speed up and show how we land down smoothly and taxi to parking. So as we taxi into our grass parking space, we can see the helicopter come in behind us, that was behind us on final approach. And after parking, it's a very short walk behind to the Aero Club.